Hello students, hope all of you are fine and safe. From today we are starting some video sessions which will be covering the important aspects of the entire syllabus. I will be dealing with human resource management. So to begin with, we will start with the first unit of HRM, that is the nature and scope of HRM. So the unit consists of the following important topics, that is nature and scope of HRM, HRM versus personnel management, the role of human resource management, the objectives of human resource management, the managerial and operational functions of a human resource manager, followed by the roles of a HR manager and the qualities of a HR manager. So, we will be looking at all these aspects in today's video. So, let us first look at the definition of human resource management. This definition is given by Edwin Flippo. So, what Edwin Flippo, one of the pioneers of human resource management subjects, says is human resource management is the planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance and separation of human resource to the end that individual, organizational and social objectives are accomplished. So, let us analyze this definition. What he says is, it is the planning, organizing, directing and controlling. So, basically it is the management of what? Okay, of the procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance and separation. That means to procure the human resource, that is basically recruitment and selection kind of things. Then development, that is training and development, compensation, making the payments etc. for the employees, integration, we have to activate the employees and also ensure that whatever works they are doing, there is integration of their works, that is there has to be coordination between the different persons who are working for the organization at different levels in different fields, in different functional areas. So, all the works have to be integrated. And then maintenance, you have to ensure that there is continuous supply of the manpower and they are always continuously motivated and they are always continuously paid and they are well trained so that their output is always optimum. And then separation of the human resource, that is you have to classify the people department wise and you have to also classify them according to the grades etc. of their performance. Basically what we are talking about here is the organization structure, that is the top level, middle level and operational level. So, you have to even separate the human resource. So, entire management and in which areas that he has covered, for what purpose, if we look at it, he goes on to say in the definition, to the end that organizational, social and individual objectives are accomplished. That is individual objectives, every employee has his objective that has to be fulfilled, and when individual objectives are fulfilled, organizational objectives will be fulfilled, and then subsequently when organizational objectives are fulfilled, the social objective of the organization and the entire society also will be fulfilled. So, you have to analyze this definition in three parts. One is the planning, organizing, directing, controlling part of what? Of procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance and separation of human resource. For what purpose? For the purpose of individual, organizational and social objectives being fulfilled. So, this is a very comprehensive definition which you can use for 2 marks also, and even in 5 marks question etc. you can include this to make your answer very attractive. Now, let us go into the next slide, that which deals with the nature of human resource management. So, the nature of human resource management, basically these are few points, there are some more points, but these are the major most important points which you should cover compulsorily. Okay. So, first one is, it is a all pervasive function, that means it covers the entire organization. No part of the organization you can say HRM is not applicable, it is applicable in all the functional areas, that is production, HR, marketing, finance, and it is also applicable at all the levels. It is applicable at the top level, at the middle level, at the operational level also. So, human resource management is applicable throughout the organization. And then second one is, it is people centric, that is it deals with the people are at the center of human resource management. It is basically about dealing with the people and motivating the people to ensure that the people grow as well as the organization grows because the people grow. So, it is people centric. Then next is it is result oriented. All the human resource management activities and functions are basically meant to get the results of individuals, the results of organization. And then there is a tactful approach which is required. When you are handling machines, when you are handling material, when you are handling money, no tact is required. The resource will not object to the way you are utilizing the resource. But when you are utilizing people and their efforts, their time, their knowledge, their skill, their aptitudes, people may agree to what you say or they may not agree. So, it becomes important for the manager to be tactful in his approach. He has to ensure that the people do whatever the manager wants in a way that the employees feel happy to do the thing. Okay. So, tact has to be necessarily used. Then another nature is it is an integrative action. It integrates the various functions of the organization. Only when there is proper coordination between different levels among the different functional areas, organization can achieve its result. Then next is it is a continuous and ongoing process. Human resource management is a continuous process because every day from morning to evening you have to continuously manage the people, you have to continuously take care of them, and every now and then there will be new requirement of people because some people may retire, some people may leave the organization, then we may require new people because of expansion, etc., and sometimes we may require less number of people. So, it is an ongoing continuous process where people come, people go, and even if people are not coming or going also you have to continuously manage and handle the people. And then it is a dynamic in nature, it is a dynamic activity because there is no thing like every two persons being same, every two persons are different from each other. So, when we are speaking of n number of people, the n number of people themselves will be behaving in n number of ways. Plus, even if you take an individual, the behavior that he is displaying today will not be the behavior of him tomorrow. So, the same person may himself have different kind of behaviors, and so it becomes a challenge for the human resource manager to understand his employees. And because there is always change, new people coming in, new people, some people going out, etc., plus new technologies coming in, people learning new things. So, it is dynamic in nature. So, these are basically some of the features which are part of the nature of human resource management. Now, next let us go to the scope of human resource management. So, what all does human resource cover? Scope basically means what all can be covered under a particular subject. So, the scope of human resource can be classified basically into four broad categories. One is the controlling aspect, second one is the acquisition aspect, third is the maintenance aspect, and fourth is the development aspect. So, in control, the human resource manager or the human resource department takes care of the human resource auditing, it takes care of the human resource accounting and human resource information system. In the HR audit, basically what we do is we look at the knowledge, skills, experience and aptitudes of the entire manpower of the organization. We need to know what are the different qualifications, what are the different skill sets of all our people. So, that gives us an idea about what our employees are capable of doing and how we can put the best person in the best place, that is the right person in the right place to do the right thing at the right time. So, that is possible when you take up HR auditing and HR accounting. In human resource accounting also we deal with similarly like what we deal in HR auditing. The basic difference being in HR accounting we also look at the various value terms, etc., what payment is made to the employees, etc., but in HR audit we also calculate the value of the employee. HR audit is basically a bit broader in scope compared to HR accounting. Then third one is the HR information system, that is we need to know all the details of the employees at any given point of time, so that a deployment of the right person is done at the right place. Sometimes we may require